Can you hear me?
Always catch me eating.
No worries.
Literally. Well, it's because I'm constantly eating.
So when I was trying to join, it was giving me a hard time. It was really weird. It wouldn't open up, and then it says join through browser, and then when I joined through browser, it looked really different.
Yeah, so it had me open some weird way too. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I wonder if it's because we were all logging in around the same time.
Maybe.
So it's like, no, that's
you cannot have a chocolate ice cream. No. He just came over with a giant, like the saucers. Like, can I have this?
Oh, he was ready. He was ready for ice cream.
Because he knows I'm not gonna, be too mean.
Please stop. Please stop.
Call, right? Like this is the best time to ask mom for whatever.
Yeah. What can I get out of her now? When she just does this or this?
The look.
Yeah.
So I'm confused because I thought I had read Leona's email, but then that's what oh, your hair's so long, Mairin.
I know. I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah, those prenatals.
Lynn mentioned, no, Leona. So Lynn forwarded, Leona mentioned something different about transition. So I'm confused.
I think, no, transition, Laura and I are doing transition on Thursday.
Okay, so today is the CPAC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to make sure we're on the same page. I'm not kind of veering off in a different direction.
Yeah. It's your 1 cup of chocolate milk.
Okay, this is good.
I think we just talk about, CPAC, what we do for families, and I would even talk about how we found CPAC too.
Our experience with CPAC?
Yeah, before we were consultants. Just to say because mine is it was a twin question about twin law, and I called hysterically crying. And they were able to send me in the right direction to find the information. But
that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know.
Absolutely.
So yes. Okay, so this is good. So I think sharing the experience would be nice.
And we can keep it really short. This one is not one I normally do because there's a million kids here, but.
Okay. Oh, for Tuesdays. Yes, I know Tuesdays were harder for you.
Tuesdays are hard, yeah. Hey, Silas, I'm going to ask you to go put on a movie for Milo, please. But try to keep it nice and quiet, please. As he shoves chocolate milk in his face.
That's your little one?
Middle.
Oh, the middle one. Okay.
Yeah. Do you want Despicable Me? Yes. How is everybody doing this week?
Pretty good. Tomorrow, my son's supposed to kind of sort of walk, but it's a drive-through graduation, so he's protesting it.
Oh, no. Is it senior year or middle school?
No, senior year.
Oh, my God.
And after a 3-hour PPT, I was able to get them to agree to a transition program.
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, let me tell you,
that's huge.
Trying to fight for it, but it is not as easy as one would think.
No. Oh, no, this child needs some more time, needs some more support. You would think they'd be like, oh, yeah, we agree, but no.
So I'm grateful that we were able to get it, but now he doesn't want to walk. Of course.
She got so big, Mairin.
Right?
One on Friday.
She's 1 on Friday?
Where'd that year go?
She just
in your house
1 already?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I can't believe it.
No acorns. And then there's Crazy Pants.
How does it feel being home with her? Isn't it kind of cool?
I'm so grateful because I got to be here when she walked for the first time, which I wouldn't have been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's working with an infant is no joke.
Oh, yeah.
No.
No joke. It is the most exhausting thing I have ever done. Yeah.
Welcome to
I drank more wine in my entire life.
Yeah.
The joys of parenting.
Yeah.
I know. Those are the things nobody tells you about. Oh, maybe you'll be in a pandemic.
But even if they were to say it, you'd be like, no.
I can handle it. No problem.
Or not even like the idea of pandemic, would be like, not in a million years.
Yeah.
I think like
This
they
is the,
say
it's,
100 or something like that.
yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Alexa, how many days has it been since March 12th?
March 12, 2020 was 96 days ago.
96 days.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, there has been times that have been very difficult, but I kind of love everybody home. So, like us in the sense of we're always going in so many different directions and my husband works constantly.
Yeah.
So for us, it's nice to like slow down and just be the six of us all the time. So for that, hey, he's going to pull something down on his head.
And that's not your normal.
It's not my normal at all. Sundays, we always kept Sundays as just the six of us. And it's been like from the morning, we'd go out to breakfast and we'd spend the whole day together. So it's been nice. Like we have a little routine going.
That's really nice.
Emmett and Silas both learned how to do their bicycles like so independently.
That's so special.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was really hard because Joe's still responding to all of these calls. Yeah. Like last week, one of our nursing homes in town got hit really, really bad last week with COVID, and he had to go in. So I was a little anxious about him. You know, he's been with the public the whole time.
Yeah.
But this time he was point blank.
Guys, I'm going to start connecting to Facebook. I don't know if you want to keep talking, but I'm giving you a heads up. It's going through.
Okay.
So that when it's 3, because it's 2:59, we are on live.
Perfect.
I will let you know that on Thursday, Angela is going to do the Zoom because I'm taking Thursday off, and I totally forgot about the Zoom call. Just like I thought it was at 11 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
No, it's never been at 11 though.
I know. It was never even a time that's been at 11. That's why I laughed, because I was like, it's at 3.
I texted Lisa freaking out like, give me a minute, I'll be right on. She's like, what?
Like, what are you talking about? I'm about to talk to Jane.
Yeah.
It's funny.
So I'm going to try to go right on at 3, but it's all set up, ready to go.
Okay. Yeah, and I think we just say like, hey, we're just here to do a check-in. It can be as little as 15 minutes. That's fine. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. I think she just wanted us to hop on for some consistency.
No, please don't put it in your mouth.
So then Thursday, who's going to be the host? Angela can log into Facebook without a problem?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's we're going on live. And if you guys are watching it, let me know. And then we already have a guest. Oh, she left. Why do they left on early and then they leave?
All right, I see it.
Oh, no, she's there. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Which I'm never on Tuesday, so this is different. How are you guys doing? How are you, Keo?
I'm good, honey. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Mairin?
There goes baby Sloan.
There's
Say hello.
Sloan.
Doing good. We're going to keep ourselves muted because we're screaming.
Okay. Yeah, if you hear anything, all 4 of my kids are over there, so it's one of those days. How are you, Kelly?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I love your porch.
Oh, thank you. It's my kid-free zone until they find me.
It's the best. The
Yeah.
best. Mine would have to be like the basement, like a creep. So,
Yeah.
you know.
They'll find me. I give them 45 minutes.
How funny, Lynn. You logged in and it shows you up as Laura.
Yeah, it's showing you as Laura, Lynn.
I'm not. This is the second time this has happened. It
Yeah.
happened last week
Sorry.
too.
I'm going to have to take a
Hi,
picture
Shannon.
to see it.
Hello, my name is Shannon. I'm a birth to 3 worker, so I was just joining. I saw this on Facebook.
Hi, nice to have you. Thanks for coming. We love Birth to 3. So what we were thinking for today is that we were just going to kind of give you a little brief idea of what CPAC does. My name is Lisa Opert. I'm a parent consultant with CPAC, and we have a bunch of other parent consultants on here today, just to kind of talk about what we do and then maybe share our first experience with CPAC that brought us to where we are today. So who would like to start?
Hi, my name is Keo. I work in the New Haven office. I'm a parent consultant. You want me to just tell you the experience right now or wait?
Sure.
Sure. So I had in 2012 had a PBT and it wasn't going well. But even before that, actually, when Christian was in kindergarten, there was some issues. And I wasn't sure what was going on because he had aged, well, not aged out, but he transitioned from a self-contained classroom to kindergarten for preschool. Sorry, that's Enzo. And I was told that he didn't need services, that he would get the supports that he needed, that he was doing so well. And then kindergarten hit and things did not go well. So then I called CPAC then, and I was told what to do. Oh, and actually also when he was 3, after he aged out of birth to 3, now that I'm thinking about it. So wow, I called CPAC 3 times during my time before I became staff, because I had a hard time getting him found eligible, and I couldn't get him in a daycare because he wasn't potty trained and they were giving me a hard time. They couldn't meet his needs. He was nonverbal, wasn't potty trained. So there was a lot of stuff going on. And then 2012 was when I really got more connected with CPAC, and I had Carmenia, who's the person who now I took over because she retired. And that's my experience with CPAC.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. For me, it was, thank you for sharing, by the way. I called CPAC. So Milo was in birth to 3. And he was starting the transition to the public school. So he was about to be 3, and Milo is a twin. His sister is, neurotypical kid. And the way our district does preschool is that you're in a lottery. And if you don't get in, you don't get in, and there's no twin preference. So I got the letter in the mail, and it said that she was number 1 on the wait list, which sent me into a literal mental breakdown, to which I called this poor woman at CPAC in hysterical tears. And they called me back very quickly. I think because they were like, it was probably somebody being like, this lady is losing her mind. Just call her back quick. And we talked about twin law and how some states had twin law and some do not. Connecticut does not have a twin law. But they showed me, how about you go and find a little bit of research to show the positives about twins staying together, especially when one has a diagnosis of autism and one does not, like with the parallels and how they can benefit from one another in a classroom. And so I did that. I went and I recorded got everything, and I went to the principal, and she all of a sudden was in the class. So it worked for us. But it was nice to go, and I was so very at the beginning of our special education journey that it was just nice to be able to call somebody crying and them not think it was me being a lunatic. So that was really nice. And then I ended up taking the Next Steps program, which starts tonight. For anybody that's not signed up, if you're welcome, email me. And then, I took the class and came on as a parent consultant. I think I was a trainer first, but parent consultant after that. Yeah. How about you, Lynn?
Hi, so my name is Lynn Rule. I work out of Stanford, and my experience with CPAC started back in 2011 when I took the Next Steps training, and I trekked from Stanford all the way out to Norwich every week. And I thought I was going to lose my mind sitting in traffic every Wednesday. But I became a trainer with them for a bit, and then I just did workshops for a while, and then 4 years ago, I came on as a parent consultant.
Oh, that's great. And I think it's been great because we have people from all over Connecticut. So there's always someone kind of in your vicinity that could support you in one way or another. And you two are in the they're not virtual offices. What are they called? Satellite offices. Thank you.
Remote satellite.
And I work from my house. So I live in Orange. But can we talk a little bit about what CPAC does? And I think there's some confusion about what CPAC does. And
you want to ask Mairin?
Yeah. Oh, well, sorry, Mairin. Tell us about you and how you got connected with CPAC.
Can we first just take a minute to say hi to Sloan?
I know, that delicious baby.
Hi.
So I worked for a post-secondary transitional program for adults with disabilities, and I decided from working with adults that I really wanted to see the other end of the spectrum and help families, since I had worked directly with students. And I just randomly came across CPAC. I didn't call needing any support. I was just looking to support others. Sorry.
No.
The end of nap time. And I've been with CPAC since 2015.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize you're there that long.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How about you, Lynn? I don't remember your year.
2011.
Oh, wow. So just before me.
Mm-hmm.
And
What about you, Lisa?
I'm the newest. I started January 2019.
Oh, yeah.
I was a teacher in New Haven for 10 years before that. And I left when I had my twins because there was third and fourth, and we just couldn't afford daycare.
Yeah.
No.
So I'm going on 8 years. I started in 2012.
Long time.
Yeah, it's a
Long time of helping families and doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So let's.
When I first, I came to CPAC, I think the same way that a lot of people do, is that looking for support. So I had some pretty challenging PPT meetings, and not being one to just sit at home and be angry and yell at my dishes, I decided that I would do what everybody does, which is go online and Google, how do I become an advocate? How do I learn how to advocate? And CPAC popped at the top of the list. And so that was when I heard about Next Steps and, was able to take that class. But empowering parents is really what we are all about. And I think Lisa or Keo, one of you just started to say a minute ago that there's sort of a misconception, I guess, because we see the word advocacy, and advocacy is not something that we do, it's something that you do as a parent. You advocate for your child, and that's what our job is, to teach you what you need to know so that you can use the right words. I think that's probably the question that we hear most, right? Is what are the words that we have to say? You know your child best, and you know how to be able to fight for them and to be able to show what their strengths are, because we always focus so much on the challenges. Whenever someone talks about their child, they always start with all the things that are wrong, all the things that they perceive as being an issue. But instead, we should really embrace all of the strengths, because when you look at an IEP, all the goals and objectives are based around supporting the challenges based on what the child's strengths are. So I think it's really important to also think about what children do well as much as we focus on what they need help with.
Yeah, I think that I agree. I think that as parents, we instantly look, especially at the beginning, of what our kids can't do and how far behind they are. We kind of sometimes skip over the whole, look at all the amazing things my kids can do too. And I think that's part of like the process of acceptance and things like that. But it's definitely, the older my kids get, I have 2 kids with IEPs, and Milo's IEP is a lot meatier than Emmett's is. And I look at his strengths and his growth, it just amazes me. Like what he can do today that he couldn't do a year ago today he wasn't speaking in sentences. He was just pointing and kind of grunting for us. And this morning he came up to me and said, "Mommy, can I have, what did he ask for? Lucky Charms," but he calls them Yucky Charms, which I think is more accurate, even though they're delicious. So like I think about where he came from, how he couldn't communicate anything to where he is today. And it's just incredible. And words that come out of him every day that are general interests and things that he wants to talk about. He's not really sure how to talk about them yet, but it's showing that he really is, he's invested in these relationships that a year ago he really wasn't. He didn't really care. And that's okay, because it just kind of took him a little bit of extra time to come around. But yeah, I think the best part for me about working at CPAC is being able to talk to moms and dads. We talk to dads as well, just about how their child is amazing and they have so much potential. And the parents also have to know that they have this incredible potential to be this fierce advocate that I think is is an overwhelming idea. I think going into your first PPT, you're so unaware of what's going to happen, even if you've done all the research and Googled all the things. So sometimes I think people, I mean, I can't tell you how many times people say, I left that PPT and I thought I was so strong until I got to my car and I closed the door and I cried. And it's really incredible to be able to work with families to show them, like, listen, you might have cried when you left, but did you get what you got accomplished when you went there? Did you try? Did you fight for your kid? Did you show them how great he is? Did you say, stop, let's talk only about this child? So the ability to work with parents and just help build them up has been the biggest joy for me working with CPAC, because it's just incredible. And you meet people that you're like, where do you live? Please live near Orange. And then they live as far from Orange as you can possibly live, which is
Like
always
Stanford.
yeah, like Stanford. I'm always like, wait, you have a kid my son's age? Let's get them together. And then we're like, where are they? And you couldn't get farther apart in this small little state. But we have such great programs. I mean, Keo does weekly calls on Facebook all the time. We have a number of programs for a variety of different ages. We have trainings for families to just help educate them to feel the most empowered going into meetings, to be able to talk about anything confidently. And sometimes just to have somebody listen to you that gets it. I think that's what parents, I've had a bunch of parents say, it's so nice to talk to somebody who's like, not going to think I'm crazy because my kids won't wear shoes, or my kids throw shoes out the window when we're driving. I just had to put Milo's shirt back on because he thinks he's Hulk. So he's been refusing all shirts. So he just is the creepy kid walking around with like shorts and a t-shirt, like no shirt all the time, our neighbors. And he sits there and like does muscles at him when cars drive by. So if you see him, he has a shirt on now. At least he did. We'll see. Yeah,
It's warm today. He can take it off.
yeah. Go run. We'll just put some sunblock on you. But it's CPAC is such a great organization to be able to call, get information, feel accepted, and feel like you're being heard. I think that's what's pretty empowering. What do you think? What do you guys think? Kelly or Shannon, have you had to call CPAC before?
No, this is my first anything with you guys.
Oh, okay.
I just went for it. I want to sign up for the class that's happening tonight. I don't know how it's a week and a half later since I saw it the first time. I don't really know what happened.
Yeah, because this is the never-ending day. It's Groundhog Day. We live in Groundhog Day.
It really is. But this is my first experience. My little guy is 4.5 going into kindergarten, and I work for the school system, and so it's a very delicate dance because I know what I need to say, but they won't listen to me. And so I use the right words and I put a fire under the right people, and I got what I wanted this last time, but I just need more info. I need to know what is appropriate. He's about to, I don't know the right words, but his category no longer applies once he turns 6 next
so
November.
He's developmentally, yeah.
Yeah, and so they're fighting me on the testing, and I'm fighting them back on it. And so I don't know what my rights are. I don't know what's available. And so I just need more information because there's only so much that I can Google before it's like, it's just too much. I need to hone it in.
Yeah. All of it seems overwhelming then.
I put feelers out to the Facebook, and a friend of mine's mother works for the Norwich CPAC, or in the area, like where I grew up. And so I just kind of stumbled into it, and I'm like finding my way through. But again, just like everyone, I need more resources. I need more of a backbone. And so now it's like I'm just mama bear, and I'm putting myself into anything that I can to help me help Cole.
Awesome. Well, Kelly, if you want, I could forward, I'll send my email down here. I'll put it in the chat. If you want to apply for it, like the program starts tonight.
Yeah.
And you could still sign up for it because I run it. So I'm the one who's doing it tonight. So if you want, I mean, I'll probably put some mascara and eyebrows on before then because I'm looking and you can't see them. But I'll put my email right in now, and you can email me and I'll just be able to send you the link and everything.
Okay. I think I have it. I just, when you're on your phone, you can't register.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely, it's much more complicated on your phone. But even if you just shoot me your email, I can send you the Zoom link and I can get you the application and stuff after.
Okay. I have it. I have it like right in front of me, Lopert, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So,
awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, CPAC it's definitely a place to go to just get information. And it's nice doing Next Steps because you kind of, it's a group of people that are in the same boat. They're looking for more information. And like you, I was a teacher and I thought I knew all the right things to say. And there's so much more that I didn't realize I didn't know. But it's an incredible resource at Next Steps. So we'd love to have you. And then let's see, Facebook comment from Robin. Oh, Robin is saying
that's my connection. Hi, Robin.
Oh, she's the best. Robin is the best. Robin is the woman we call when we can't figure out answers.
Yeah, I went to high school with her daughter, and it was like serendipitous. Like, oh my God, like,
yeah,
I didn't know I needed her until I needed her.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'll, if you want, email me right after this, and I'll just shoot you the Zoom address. But anybody have anything they want to know about CPAC or anything like that?
Just as a birth to 3 provider, I recommend, so I work with Rehab Associates and ABC Intervention. I don't know if you know.
That's where we had our birth to 3 through.
I am in the Middletown area. However, our company is really big, but I stumbled across you guys on Facebook for this meeting, but I would just, if I could give you my email, if you guys can send me further information, I always recommend you guys to my families because I explain to them, like, we'll be here with you for your first, 90-day meeting and then, first PPT, but then birth to 3 goes away. Like, I hate, we're just done. We're done the day before your child turns 3 and that's it. So, and then for those families where the children don't get help until after 3, it's even harder for them to get in and things like that. So just any kind of information you guys can give us further, so I can definitely get my coworkers to really recommend you guys as well, and other things that you guys might do if they're thinking like, oh, well, this family might not want CPAC, but if there's other things you guys provide, other like you said, you do trainings for families. I don't know if you do like
we actually have two programs for the birth to 3 age group, actually.
Okay.
One is called Family Connections, where you can sign up. We pair you with a mentor with children that are similar to yours. So I do a lot of those calls for families that have children with autism. I also do speech delays. And so what I do is I reach out every 6 weeks and I check in and I say, hey, how's birth to 3 going? And they say, oh, we love birth to 3. Nobody ever says, oh, I'm so angry. Like everyone's like, oh, they're the best. They're like little magical fairy people who come and show me how to work with my children. So you're doing an awesome job. And then the other one is called Pre-K Pathfinder. And that's kind of when there's a transition going from birth to 3 that's not going so smooth or so well to the public schools. Then we kind of step in, we help parents kind of organize things, we help them really learn how to advocate, learn what their rights are as parents. And then if things still aren't going right, then we kind of try to step in where we can. But those 2 programs in particular are really great for birth to 3 families. So
I like the I see like Family Connections. I wasn't familiar with that. I was more familiar with the IEP part of it. So that's good to know because I do have a lot of families that are like, we don't have any, a lot of the children's goals are peer interaction and they don't know a lot of peers. So we have some birth to 3 play groups and we're increasing that, but awesome. It's definitely limited. And especially now, birth to 3 through telehealth is an interesting world, but.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, if
I love
could
that you guys
put
are doing play groups.
Yeah, our play groups are canceled now, but.
But that was the best thing. Rehab Associates is it's the only company that I've heard about that do play groups. And for me, I literally met my, we call each other like autism best friends because our kids have autism. But I met her there, and she ended up moving like down the street from us. So like our kids all play together. And that's where I met her. And I say all the time, like birth to 3 play group, like changed my perspective on friendships in
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And even just to have, like you said, a parent going through the same thing. I have a lot of moms that are kind of lost, like even with families that are very supportive. I have, especially this one little guy I have, the family is extremely supportive, and mom works a lot. So she kind of feels left out of the loop. So I think, her family tries their best to fill her in and explain everything, and they're very supportive of her. But I think just as a mom, she feels a little disconnected. So I think that would be great for her too.
Well, that mom guilt is real. And then you throw birth to 3 on
I
top
can't
of
even
it.
imagine, because I'm a birth to 3 provider, and I have a 3-year-old and 2-year-old. So who right now are not getting birth to 3, but I'm constantly just, birth to 3 mind. But, So I can't even imagine, but I try my best.
Yeah, well,
So
no,
that's
it sounds like your families have a great support system in place having you there.
Awesome.
So thank you for all you do.
Thank you. I put my email in the chat too. If you have any information you can send my way, I could share it at my meeting.
Yeah, I will get it together for you.
So what I would encourage you, since you work for birth to 3, is if you have families that are exiting out and would like to be mentors, because we're always in need of mentors. Yeah. So keep that in the back of your mind. And we really try to pair up families who have kids with kind of similar diagnoses or kind of going through the same. And also if they're interested. So I know when they fill out the IFSP, there's always the question if they would like someone to call them. But a lot of times families initially are not as receptive because they don't really know what to expect from birth to 3. So we always encourage birth to 3 providers during service coordination training to follow up and say, hey, now that you've been with the program for a while, are you interested in getting a mentor? Would you like to speak to another parent? Because sometimes they think it's a big commitment, but it's simple. It could be a text, it could be a phone call, it could be an email, and it'll help families realize that there's another support for them. And sometimes families have kiddos with special needs feel isolated. And now during COVID, probably more than ever, they're feeling the isolation. I mean, granted, I understand the why, but this may be an opportunity to follow up with some of these families who may have said no in the past, who may now feel differently because they are feeling isolated.
So do you get that information when they do click yes or no on the IFSP, or because I'm not personally reaching out to anybody to set them up. It just to just ask questions, yes or no, and then I don't know where that question goes from there. There's a lot of questions around that.
Sure. Lisa, you were going to speak?
I was going to say, so what we typically get for an intake is we have like a family sheet that the service coordinator gives out, and the families fill out showing that they're interested.
Okay.
And then we kind of match up based on the information that they give. We do an initial call to say, hey, we have a face group. We could be as little as joining a face group, a Facebook group, or it could be one-to-one mentoring. Phone calls, weekly things, or every 6 weeks or so, all depending on what the family's interest of involvement is. That's what we found to be most helpful. Yeah, but it's a sheet. I could look and see. I've never seen the blank copy of it, but I'm sure we have it somewhere.
Okay.
I can check to see so that I can send you one. I think the question's like 5A or 5B on the IFSP. Section 5A or 5, or something like that.
It's somewhere in there because I remember doing it and I was like, oh, what? No, because I was in denial when we joined.
They do now have a little thing to say, ask me later. You know, they do have a little spot now for that, which is nice. Because I felt like the yes or no put the parents on the spot, and they were like, I don't know. I don't even know what an IFSP is. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know if I want to talk to other people yet. So they do have that on the IFSP now.
But I also think because it's not specific saying family connection, the mentor program, I also think for some new providers, it may be easy to skip over it because it's just,
Mhm.
would you like somebody to call you, and who's going to call me? Why are they
Yep.
calling? What do they
Yeah.
want? So that comes up. So this is great that you're on the call because of this, birth certificate provider. You can initiate the conversation and say, hey, at some point we asked you this, and you don't have to do an IFSP review to ask the question.
Mhm.
You say, hey, we had a conversation way back when, and at the time you said no, but considering the way things are, you may be interested at this time. And it may change their mind, or it may still be a no, or it may still be, maybe later. But at least they know, because sometimes people forget
Yep.
that this conversation ever took place. And also maybe when they said no, it had under different circumstances.
Why?
So this may be more motivating.
Yeah, that's good.
I think it'd be good for them to know. And then the other one that comes to mind for your kiddos is the Pathfinders, the pre-K Pathfinders, because it supports kids that are aging out of birth to 3, so that 3 to 5 population. There is a criteria in order for them to be, so we support all families that call us, but depending on the need, they may be able to be a part of a particular program. And pre-K Pathfinders really supports the families navigate preschool into kindergarten so that there is a smooth transition. So that is also something for you to talk to families about, because as they're exiting out, they're used to birth certificate providers. It's a warm and fuzzy kind of feeling. You come into the home, you build a rapport, you have a relationship. They start to expect you. And when they go to the school system, it's in a school setting. It's related to the individual student. It's not family oriented. They're changing from, staff that was coming into the home and being able to see the work that you were doing with them as a family. And now in the school, the work being done is not always as obvious. So that's a great program to discuss with your families as well. And anyone that's listening to us on Facebook, we encourage you, if you're not sure about the programs that we have, to please call, check the website. We have different Facebook groups that you can be a part of. So not only do we offer training so that you can self-advocate, but we also have programs to help you. And with some families, we do some more intensive work. We have the bilingual support. Adrienne and I, we do a lot of intensive work with a lot of the Spanish monolingual speaking families. And, if we need to help families file a state complaint, or if we need to help families organize their information so that they can self-advocate, we really want to meet the parents where they're at, and we're guided by their needs. However, if you don't know, you don't know what to ask, right? So questions are kind of limited. So we want to make sure families know that not only that we exist, not only do we have our contact information on an IEP, many families still don't know that CPAC has been around as long as it has. So you just want to make sure that families know that we're still here, we're providing supports, we're all parents. We've kind of been there, some of us have kids that aged out of the school system and still working in special ed through CPAC, and we have others that have little ones that are either in birth to 3. I think your kid is in birth to 3, right, Lisa? Or he aged out?
He aged out.
So he was the youngest of our staff.
I think he's the youngest on staff. Yeah, Milo's going to go to kindergarten next year.
Okay, so yeah, he's the littlest one for us. So we've kind of been through it as staff, whether it's birth to 3, preschool, self-contained special ed.
And there's still, there's days that I call Robin or I call one of the other people and I talk about, what do I do with Milo? What would you do? I would talk to, Milo, turn off the lights. Sorry. I talked to Lynn on Friday and it was okay, it was just nice to be able to connect because she gets it. So it's nice for, I reach out to my coworkers all the time too.
So that's the part that we want to emphasize, is that sometimes you may not have the answer. You may not know what you want to do. You're probably just thinking, I just want to talk to somebody who gets it. And special ed, it's a small subgroup of the educational system. So you're probably not going to have a lot of family and friends that have experienced special ed. And that's why it's important that you can reach out sometimes just to vent, to say, hey, this happened. I can't believe this happened. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this information. And we help kind of guide you. Maybe it means you do nothing. Maybe it just means you sit with it for a second and you process it until you're comfortable making the next step. Because we're not going to push you to do anything that you're not comfortable doing. We just really want to make sure that you're informed, that you know you have rights. And sometimes families really don't act on their rights, but as long as they know that they have rights, there's a comfort level. Like if I wanted to, I could. At least I know this exists. And it's easier for families to make decisions when they know they have rights, when they know what their procedural safeguards are. Because the worst thing is to have families go through school, special ed, probably 10 years, and not even know, you know, their rights. You know, what is the, so it's funny because every time you get the IEP packet, it's that yellow manila folder, has all your evaluations, if it was a triennial or a new comprehensive evaluation. And families know it's important and they save it, but they don't really understand what the document means. And how is this document going to support their kid? And what's going to now be different for their child? And that's where we fill in the gap. A lot of times families don't realize they could get parent training and information through the school. They don't know to ask for it. So especially in an initial, you get this packet. What does this mean? And when I say initial, it's after the child's been found eligible. So it's your real first PPT. The kid is found eligible. You get your packet. And there's no real guidance after that. Maybe some schools do, but for the most part, you get the packet in the mail, or your kid has it in the book bag, or you went to school and picked it up, and you go through it, and it doesn't always make sense, and you don't know who to ask and who to talk to. So that's where we come in. You know, we explain to you what is the cover page. What does that mean to you? Who's your case manager? Is the contact information correct for you? We go through the heart of the IEP, which is present levels of academic and functional performance. You know, that's what's going to drive your IEP. If it's not there, then we need to go back and see what's happening. And then that's how they develop the goals, and that's how they come up with accommodations and modifications. So I encourage you guys, if you're available and you're listening, to join today's session. It starts today, which is next steps. It'll give you a lot more of what we're talking about. And it's really meant to build you up as a parent leader, but also as an advocate for your child. We also offer standalone training sessions. So if you have a group of parents and you're interested, I don't know, in challenging behaviors, or what is child find, what does that mean? We can do standalone workshops. And then of course, you know, we do a lot of telephone support. So if you have questions about different things, and if we don't know something, we say we don't know, but we try to get the answer to you. We try to get the support from our coworkers if we need to call the bureau to kind of get clarity on something. COVID has kind of changed things a little bit. So, you know, that's important for families to know. But still, FAPE is supposed to be offered for your public education to the maximum extent possible. So, you know, keep that in mind for families. It's an individualized program. So we want to make sure that families know that they're still protected under the law. Schools are still supposed to be thinking outside the box, being creative, how they can support this child. A lot of families don't even know what their rights are during COVID. So we want to make sure families know that they're still protected under the law. So Lynn put FAPE, free appropriate public education. So
one of the problems that we have is that we use all the acronyms.
I forget. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for coming out. Please reach out to us with any questions you have, anything that you need for support. The Next Steps program is tonight. If you'd like to participate, we can still have you come. Just email me. I put my email in the chat. I'll put it on the Facebook page as well. And thank you so much for coming out, ladies. You are always a pleasure to see. So thanks so much. And
yes, thank you so much. And I appreciate that Kelly joined us, and Shannon, thank you.
Thank you.
Great. I know there was someone else. Oh, Phyllis is on with us.
There's Phyllis. Yep.
Hi, Phyllis.
Hi.
Yes, honey. So thank you for joining us. And I know there was a Robert and he left. And anyone watching us through Facebook, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Have a good one, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.